Alright, and welcome back. Took a little time out here, a couple different things, and I want to let you know what we did here. First of all, the ditch lights, you want to kind of line them up for where the existing light tubes are. So what I did is I just gently folded over the small magnet wire here to roughly line up where those light tubes will be coming through. Actually, MRC's instructions recommend that you tape them on there. I think that's more set up for if your decoder is permanently mounted onto the locomotive frame, and then the ditch lights are mounted as well onto the frame. This particular model has a little bit different, so if you were to tape them onto the light tubes here, it would be pretty hard to separate the shell from the body, but you can do it either way. The other thing I did is looking at the size of the old light board and the new one. The LED extended pretty far back previously from where the existing light is, and consequently there was interference on the rear light tube. So I mean, it's pretty easy to do. You can just gently, and I used a very some long needle nose pliers, just gently fold it over the LED. Don't put any force on the board or the solder connections or the connections at the LED, but that let us actually simulate the original, the OEM board. Alright, so now what we're going to do is go ahead and put this into our locomotive, set the shell aside here. Pretty straightforward. It's pretty much what we just did in reverse. So you open it up here a little bit. This particular drop-in decoder matches very closely to the OEM, the original motor connections here. Gotta help it in a little bit. There's one. You can be very careful with this. This is where you have to be pretty gentle so that you don't overforce anything. Squeeze that together just a little bit. They're kind of sprung. Just a little squeeze there. And we put the other. Now while I'm doing this, you might want to consider a couple different options for how permanent you want to make the install. Manufacturers have to be able to assemble these locomotives fairly quickly. Just the thing about modern production. But you know, you don't want to have problems with these locomotives picking up power in your operating sessions while you're running your trains. So what I like to do is just solder all the connections. It just makes it more permanent. It takes care of any question of is it conducting or not, and overall it ends up being just a more reliable connection. So I got one and I got two in there, and I'll go ahead and put these screws back in.